Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I'm welcoming you all to another wonderful session from Let's Update Language Academy for OET reading module. So, let's just wait for a few minutes for everyone to join in, and then we'll begin shortly. So, I can see you joining in. So, some of you joining in. So, hello, yes, hello, Hamal. Good afternoon, Imran, and hi, Tintu. So yes, I think it's time to start the session. So let me introduce myself. I'm Pooja Vijay Kumar, and I'm here to give you an insight about the OET reading module part C today. So, we shall be discussing the OET strategies for reading module in general, and we will be discussing how to deal with reading, what to expect in reading, okay, especially in part C in detail, okay. So, yes, so regarding OET subtest, reading subtest, for those of you who are attempting for the first time, I would just like to give you some general information. That is, reading subtest is divided into three parts. That is part A, part B, and part C. Okay, and you will be having a total of 42 questions in total, and part A will consist of 20 questions, part B consisting of 6 questions, and part C consisting of 16 questions. Okay, and the total time duration that will be allotted to you is 60 minutes, that's an hour, and part A will be allowed 15 minutes, and part B and C together you will have a total of 45 minutes, okay, to solve. And let me just tell you that regarding the reading subtest. Okay, there are certain things that I need to tell you. That is regarding the part A. I'll just give you a general idea. That is, part A basically assesses your ability to locate specific information from 4 short texts in a quick and efficient manner, and the 4 text will relate to a single healthcare topic, okay, and you must answer 20 questions in the allotted time period, okay, and the 20 questions will consist of matching sentence completion and short answer questions. Okay, that is about part A. And regarding part B also, I just want to give you a certain information. That is, part B assesses your ability to identify the detail or the main point or the main purpose or the main idea of 6 short text, okay, that is also sourced from a healthcare workplace, okay. And the text might consist of extracts from policy documents, notices, announcements, okay, or hospital guidelines, manuals, or internal communications, emails, or memos, okay. So and for each text there will be one 3 option multiple choice question, okay. So a total of 6 questions from B section. Okay, so I just wanted to give you some information about part A and B also before we come to part C. And regarding part C, what I need to tell you is part C assesses your ability to identify the detailed meaning and opinion in two large texts, okay, on topics of interest to healthcare professionals, okay. And for each text will be given eight 4 option multiple choice questions, okay. So that means a total of 16 questions following these two texts, okay. And regarding part B and C, some general information that I need to give you is you must shade the circle next to the appropriate answer in part B and C, okay. And answers written elsewhere or marked elsewhere will not be, okay. So yeah, those were some general information that I needed to give you, okay. And yes, in general I just need to give you a few tips that you need to follow. That is, you need to practice a lot before you give a test in OET reading subtest. You need to practice a lot because that's going to make you perfect, okay, and that's going to improve your speed, and for reading as well as for locating answers, and for locating the right sort of answer, okay. And you need to read the instructions properly. For those of you who have attended earlier, you might have an idea, but still you can read it again. On for those who are attending the first time, very important that you need to read the instructions before you attempt the examination. And the next tip that I need to tell you is that you need to focus on English comprehension and not on your medical knowledge, because there might be a lot of things that you know, okay, and there might be a lot of things that you see in the text that you do not approve of or that you do not agree with, okay. So so don't assess that information, and don't think or spend too much time for that, okay, based on your previous medical knowledge. If there are conflicting ideas, do not think anything about that, just focus on the text, okay. And also read with comprehension. When you read it, you need to understand it, you need to absorb what you are reading, okay. You need to understand it, okay, because you can't lose focus or attention while you're reading the text, okay, because last thing that should happen to you is reading it all over again, okay, that much time. So what you need to do is you need to focus while you're reading, okay. Okay, and the next tip that I need to tell you is that you need to read the question first, whether it be A, B, or C. Whichever section you are attempting in part in reading subtest, whichever section it is, you need to read the question first and then read the topic or the extract or the paragraph, and that should be to find the answer to the question you have just read, okay. So the purpose of that reading should be to find the answer to the question that you have just read before, okay. So you will not waste a lot of time there, okay. Okay, and another important information that I need to tell you is that you need to highlight and jot information, okay. You need to mark headings, subheadings. You, if you want, you can write them, okay. You can highlight them, underline them, okay, because that is going to help you locate your answers quickly, okay. So that is very important. And a final word, there is no negative marking. So in the reading subtest, so even if you have left it blank, it's going to be definitely going to be a 0. But even if you have put an incorrect answer, still it's going to be a 0, no negative marking, okay. So you can give a wild guess, you can give a calculated guess, okay, in case you run out of time. If it's like the last few seconds or something, or last minute or something, and you do not have enough time in hand, then you can just make a calculated guess. Okay, but that's a last resort, but that is also possible. Okay, because there is no negative marking. So these are some important information I wanted to give you. And just keep in mind that there is no extra time that is going to be given. So just make sure you utilize your time well. Okay, and so that's about it. And also you need to score at least 30 marks to get awarded a grade B, that is a scale score of 350. So yeah, that's about it. So now we shall just yeah, these are information that I already told you. Basically, we are going to deal with part C today. Last live session we had discussed part B, and today it's part C. So basically about part C, what I need to tell you is that it assesses your ability to identify the detailed meaning and opinion from the text. Okay, that the opinion could be of the author, the writer, or the professor, the researcher, or if there are some other if there are information about some other people that is being talked about in the text, that is of some other researchers or people who have done research on the same topic. So in that case you need to note what they have done, what is their attitude, or what is being talked about, their opinions also. So that also matters. So please focus on all of that information, because that those are going to be the questions. Okay, and as I told you, each long text will be followed by 8 questions. Okay, and those will be 4 option multiple choice questions. And C, okay, so a total of 16 questions will be expected from part C. And first, as I told you, read the question to know what information you need to find. Read the content of the text, that is the paragraph in question. Okay, and then read the answer options and decide and choose the most appropriate answer. Okay, so yes, so now we shall start solving a part C section. Okay, right. So this is the part C section. Part C section, usually the it will be followed by the entire text and then followed by 8 questions. And for your convenience, for you to be able to read the paragraph and the questions and the options at the same time, I have arranged it in such a way that you will be able to see it both at the same time. That is, I have arranged each question just below each paragraph. Okay, usually the questions in C part is in such a way that the first question will be from the first paragraph, second from the second, and so on. Okay, so that will be the order. Okay, and last question from the last paragraph, ideally. That will be the order. So I have arranged the questions in such a way that you will be able to read the paragraph, the first paragraph and the first question and the options together. Okay, so I think this is visible to you. Okay, so let's read the question first. What did the study published in Science Translation Medicine find? That is a question. So as I told you, read the question first and then read the paragraph. So I'll give you a minute to read the paragraph and then we'll try to solve the question. So I can see a lot of you have joined in. Hello Neetu, hello Sandra. Yes, good afternoon, David Joseph. Good afternoon, Yasir Mohammed. Good afternoon, Atulya. And yes, good afternoon, Anjali, Karma, and good afternoon, Rishmi. So, for those of you who have joined in late, we are currently discussing part C module, and I have read the question and I've given you 1 minute for you to read the paragraph and also locate the answers. And please feel free to put in your choice of answers in the comment section. Okay, so shall we read it together? I hope you have finished reading the paragraph. That is, over the past 50 years, the frequency of allergies and autoimmune diseases has risen rapidly, but it is not clear why. In a study published today in Science Translation Medicine, researchers point to a possible culprit: salt. In lab experiments, the authors found that high concentrations of sodium chloride can influence the differentiation of T helper 2 Th2 cells, the immune cells responsible for allergies, and that elevated levels of salt are present in the affected skin of people with atopic dermatitis, an allergic skin condition. So that is the paragraph. So what do you think the answer is now? Is it A, Th2 cells can cause allergies and autoimmune diseases? B, some people with atopic dermatitis were allergic to salt? C, salt may play an important role in allergies and autoimmune diseases? And D, sodium chloride causes atopic allergies in skinny people. Please feel free to put in your answers in the comment section. Yes, I can see your answers here. Princey Dennis has replied with option C. Honeymole George has replied D. Yes, good afternoon, Rishmi. And so, yes, please feel free to put in your choice of answers in the comment section. And yes, hi Amal. So today we are having a reading session, and I'm Pooja. So for those of you who have joined in late, so yes, so I think I shall tell you the answer. So the answer is C. So those who have answered C, congrats. So that is, salt may play an important role in allergies and autoimmune diseases. That is the correct answer. So I'll just highlight the answer and tell you why it is C. So this is the answer. And because in the paragraph they have written, in lab experiments, the authors found that high concentrations of sodium chloride can influence differentiation of T helper 2 cells. Okay, so they have mentioned that high concentrations of sodium chloride plays an important role because they influence the differentiation of Th2 cells, right? So that is why your answer should be this. And that elevated levels of salt are present. Elevated levels of salt are present in the affected skin of people with atopic dermatitis. Okay, so that is why your answer should be C. Okay, so moving to the next question, let's read the question first. That is question number 8. When diagnosing allergies or atopic dermatitis, Charles Mackay usually considers. That is the question. So let's read the paragraph. So I'll give you a minute to read it silently and then we shall solve it together. For those of you who have joined in late, we are currently discussing the part C reading module, and please feel free to put in your comment section, your answers in the comment section. Okay, we are currently solving question number 8. So let's just read it together now. Okay, so these are the sorts of studies that are really appreciated because they are so completely different. And that's what we need because really there hasn't been much progress in understanding this epidemic of allergic disease, says Charles Mackay, an immunologist at Monash University in Australia who did not participate in the work. I'm looking at why we get an allergy or atopic dermatitis. I try to think of the environmental factors here. This study is an interesting new angle to Th2 immunity. Okay, so that's about it. That's a paragraph. And the question was, when diagnosing allergies or atopic dermatitis, Charles Mackay usually considers what? That is, options are A, the patient's hereditary conditions, B, the patient's surroundings, C, the patient's diet, D, the patient's susceptibility to skin conditions. What do you think the answer is? Okay, I can see Princey Dennis commenting option B as answer. Any other answers, or I want more of you to join in and put in your answers. Okay, so have they mentioned something about hereditary conditions here? No. And have they mentioned something about the diet here? No. And they have not mentioned something about the susceptibility to skin conditions either. Okay, when diagnosing allergies or atopic dermatitis. Okay, so the only thing that they have mentioned is that I try to think of the environmental. Okay, so that means the answer should be the patient's surroundings. The same what they have mentioned, and I have highlighted. Okay, that is why your answer should be B. So those who have answered B, very good. So now moving on to the next question. Okay, this is the paragraph and question. The question is according to the third paragraph, cases of hay fever and atopic dermatitis have, and this is the paragraph. So please read the paragraph and let me know the answers in the comment section. I'll give you a minute to read yourself. Okay, so now let's read it together. So, hay fever and atopic dermatitis have seen a twofold upsurge since the 1970s, and researchers do not attribute that to greater awareness or diagnosis. This recent rise in the incidence of allergic diseases is much too fast to be explained by genetic changes. So it's more likely to be due to an environmental or behavioral cause, according to co-author Christina Zelensky of the Technical University of Munich. Okay, one thing that also changed within the last 50 to 60 years is our diet. We are eating much more fast food, and this also includes much more salt. So that's how we became interested in the question of whether salt can modulate the immune system, she says. So that's the paragraph, and our question was according to the third paragraph, case of hay fever and atopic dermatitis have. So the options are A, increased slightly, B, increased significantly, C, stayed the same, and D, fluctuated 2 times. So, what do you think your answer is? Please feel free to put in your answers in the comment section. I shall read out your answers. Okay, Shafna has responded with B. Neetu Jose has responded with B. Okay. So the answer would be, okay, I'll just highlight the information. Okay, what is given in the paragraph, that is, hay fever and atopic dermatitis have seen a twofold upsurge. Okay, twofold upsurge means, okay, it has increased a lot. Does double. Okay, so twofold rise, okay, or upsurge has been noted, or yeah, that's what they have found out. And option A is increased slightly. Slightly means a little increase. B, increased significantly, means increased in a large way. Okay, and C stayed the same. Okay, and D's stay the same means okay, there is no much change, and D's fluctuated two times. Fluctuated in the sense it's gone up and gone down, gone up and gone down. So, but that is not mentioned here. Fluctuation or going up and down, that is not mentioned here, right? That is an increase and decrease and increase and decrease. That has not happened, and that anything of that sort is not mentioned, because of which we have to eliminate D and we have to eliminate C, because it's not stayed the same. Okay, they have told that they have seen a twofold upsurge, so it means it's not increased slightly also, it's like a double the time increase. Okay, so that means it has to be B, which is increased significantly, increased in a large way or a huge way or in a considerable way. Okay, so that is why your answer should be B. So those of you who have answered B, congrats. Okay, so now moving on to the next question. This question number 10. What was the result of the experiments described in paragraph 4? Okay, and this is the paragraph. So please read the paragraph. I'll give you a minute. Read it yourself. Okay, so let's just read it together. So the paragraph is Zelensky and her colleagues started by upping the levels of sodium chloride in the tissue culture medium used to grow either human CD4 positive T cells, which give off a complex set of chemical signals based on previous exposure to antigens, or naive T cells, which have not been exposed to antigens before. In both cell types, the salt boosted the abundance of cytokines and transcription factors specific to Th2 cells, indicating that high salinity promotes the Th2 cell differentiation. The researchers also found that the effects of the salt seem to enhance Th2 related programs via two salt sensitive transcription factors. So that's the paragraph. And the question was, what was the result of the experiments described in paragraph 4? And the options are: high salt intake causes allergies. B. Sodium chloride helps CD4 positive memory T cells to grow. Option C. Naive T cells react more quickly to salt than CD4 positive memory T cells. And option D. Elevated salt levels change the Th2 cell behavior. So these are the options. So what do you think the answer is? Please feel free to comment your choice of answers in the comment box. Okay, so I can see your answers. Karma has replied with option B. Amal has replied with option B. Neetu Jose has replied option D, and Shafna has replied with option D. Okay, so let me give you the answer. That the correct answer is option D. Elevated salt levels change Th2 cell behavior. And let me tell you why it's D. Because it's written here that in both cell types, the salt boosted the abundance of cytokines and transcription factors specific to Th2 cells, indicating that high salinity promotes Th2 cell difference. Okay, that means high salinity in the sense elevated salt levels. Changed Th2 cell behavior because it promotes the differentiation, cell difference. Okay, so that is why your option should be, the correct answer should be option D. Okay, yeah. And you can see that the other options are incorrect as well. Okay, so when there are direct lines mentioned there, direct answers, then you can directly reach the answer. But then if it's a like an indirect question, okay, then in that scenario you can just eliminate the other options, okay, by checking how the other options are wrong or incorrect. You might get evidence to prove the other options incorrect and reach the correct answer. But in these cases, you get direct sentences which will give you the correct answers. Okay. Oh, yes. Moving to the next question. Question number 11. According to the fifth para, psoriasis is a condition that, and this is the paragraph. So please read the paragraph. I'll give you a minute to read it yourself. Okay, so now let's read it together. That is, the authors next compared salt levels in the skin of adults with atopic dermatitis, an allergic condition that causes red, itchy patches of skin. Patient skin has sodium concentrations 30-fold higher than the patient's unlesioned skin and skin from healthy controls. The team also investigated sodium levels in affected and unaffected skin of people with psoriasis, an autoimmune disorder characterized by red, inflamed patches of skin. While both atopic dermatitis and psoriasis are both chronic inflammatory skin conditions, psoriasis is mediated by a different type of T helper cell. They found no difference in salt concentration in psoriatic lesions and unaffected skin, which led them to rule out a role of inflammation in the differences in sodium that they observed in people with atopic dermatitis. We were very surprised because atopic dermatitis has been thoroughly investigated and no one has ever considered sodium chloride to play a role. Says Zelensky, she adds that the next steps will be to investigate the connection between salt and allergies. So that's our paragraph. And please respond. Please put in your choice of answers in the comment section at Facebook, and I shall read out your answers. So, what do you think the answer is? Is it A, B, C, or D? Option A is lasts for a long time. Option B is triggered by T helper cells. Option C is identical to atopic dermatitis. And option D is causes immunity. Okay, so now, so let's see what your answers are. Okay, Sabita has responded with option B as answer, and Shafra has also responded with B as answer. Is there any other answers? And I want more of you to join in and put in your responses. All right. Okay. So let's see what the answer is. Okay. So that is okay. So what they have mentioned is while both over here, I'll highlight the information. While both atopic dermatitis and psoriasis are both chronic inflammatory skin conditions. What do you mean by chronic? Okay, that means serious skin conditions that can last a long time. Okay, that is the meaning of chronic, right? So that is why your answer should be option A. And why is it not B, C, or D? Because they have mentioned that psoriasis is though they are both chronic inflammatory skin conditions, they have not mentioned that they are identical, because they have said that psoriasis is mediated by a different type of T helper cells, okay, not the same as atopic dermatitis. Okay, that's what they have mentioned in the next line. Okay, so what does that mean? That means they are not identical. Okay, and that is why C, you can eliminate C. And what about B? How do we eliminate B? Because they have mentioned that it is mediated by a different type of T helper. So option B, which is telling that it is triggered by T helper cells, will be wrong. Okay, and what about D? They have not mentioned that it causes immunity. Okay, so that is why we have eliminated B, C, and D. And because they have mentioned it's a chronic inflammatory skin condition, that means it's going to last a little long time. Okay, and because of which your answer should be A. Okay, so those who have answered A, then that's good. Okay, so moving on to the next question. Okay, the next question is also from the same paragraph. Okay, so as you have already read the paragraph, you can just go through the question and try to answer it. Okay, So since the previous question was from the first part or the first section of the paragraph, the next question should be from the last part of the paragraph. Okay, so look at the question. According to Zelensky in paragraph 5, what is the situation regarding atopic dermatitis? That is the question. And the options are: there's a clear link with sodium. B, more studies are needed to understand the condition. C, the condition has been examined in depth. And D, the condition is surprising. And so we have two questions from paragraph 5, and you just need to read this lower half of the paragraph to solve the second question from the paragraph. Okay. So you can just read it again. I'll give you a minute and then we'll solve it together. You just need to see whether it's A, B, C, or D. Okay, whether you can find any information that is mentioned in A, B, C, or D, and you need to just eliminate the rest. Okay. For those of you who have joined in late, we are currently solving question number 12, and please feel free to put in your choice of answers after reading the paragraph that is visible to you now. Okay, so what do you think the answer is? Okay, the answer is C. The condition has been examined in depth. That is the correct answer. Okay, I have highlighted the answer, and let's see where the answer is, because can you see this line here that we were surprised because atopic dermatitis have been thoroughly investigated. That means they have thoroughly investigated. Okay, and that means same as option C, that the condition has been examined in depth. Okay, so that is why your answer is C, and you can eliminate of course A, B, and D, because that would be incorrect as well, because no such information is mentioned in the paragraph. Okay, so moving to the next question. Tranus thinks that is a question, and the paragraph is what you can see on the screen. So please read the paragraph. I'll give you a minute and then we shall solve the question. Okay, so let's read it together. According to Chuan Wu, an immunologist at the National Cancer Institute who did not participate in the work, this connection could involve nearby epidermal and dermal cells, as well as the skin microbiome. The skin is a big mucosal surface colonized with a huge amount of microbes. So, investigating whether the Th2 response is somehow connected to the skin bacteria could be interesting. He says the authors discuss in the study that people with atopic dermatitis often have an overgrowth of a salt loving microbe on their skin, which has gone unexplained until now. And that is a paragraph. And so now moving on to the options. What does Chang Wu think? Okay, that is what the question is. And the options are: the skin microbiome is not part of the epidermal system. B, epidermal and dermal cells are examples of skin bacteria. C, the Th2 response produces salt loving microbes. And D, the link between skin bacteria and Th2 response is worth further investigation. So, what do you think the answer is? Okay, I can see answers coming in. Karma has responded with C, Sandra with B, Sabita given option B. Any other answers? Okay, so I shall tell you the answer. The answer is D. The link between skin bacteria and Th2 response is worth further investigation. And why do you think it is D? Because let's see here, I'll highlight that information. So, the skin is a big mucosal surface colonized with a huge amount of microbes. So, investigating whether the Th2 response is somehow connected to the skin bacteria would be interesting, he says. And that is why your answer is D. The link between skin bacteria and Th2 response is worth further investigation, because they have told that it is interesting, that investigation of the response, Th2 response, as well as whether it's connected to skin bacteria. Okay, that is worth further investigation. That is why your answer is option D. Okay, so moving on to the last and final question. According to the information in paragraph 7, the presence of sodium in the skin. That is the question, and this is the paragraph. I'll give you a minute to read the paragraph, and then please feel free to answer or give your choice of answers in the comment section. Okay, so now let's read it together. So Mackey points out that the gut microbiome could also be involved, as high salt diets have previously been shown to have effects on intestinal microbes. Is it salt from the diet somehow affecting atopic dermatitis? Or is there a gut connection here that they haven't explored yet? He asks. This connection to the diet is still very speculative. There are some correlations and associations, but the definite proof is still missing, says Zelensky. It could be that the sodium accumulation in the skin follows some autonomous skin intrinsic rules which are completely independent of. So that is the paragraph. So what do you think the answer is? Option A is maybe unrelated to food consumption. Option B could be explained by intestinal microbes. C might be due to autonomous skin regeneration. Or D can be seen by checking accumulation patterns. So please put in your choice of answers in the comment section. So, okay, let me just highlight the important information. So about diet or about food consumption, what they have mentioned is there a connection here that they haven't explored yet? This connection to the diet is still very speculative. Connection to the diet, that means to food consumption, is still very speculative. That means they are unproven. Okay, so there are some correlations and associations, but the definite proof is still missing. Definite proof of the association is still missing. So that means it could be that sodium accumulation in the skin follows some autonomous skin intrinsic rules which are completely independent of diet. That means it could be not related to diet. Okay, that means independent of diet. So it's not dependent on diet. That is what they say. It could be that they are completely independent of diet. That means not dependent on, okay, or not related to diet or food consumption, because of which your answer will be A. It may be unrelated to food consumption. So that is the correct answer. So those of you who have answered it correctly, good. So now it's time to wind up. So I hope you have understood whatever we have discussed today, and I hope you have got an idea about how to crack part C. So thank you for joining us. See you next week. Take care.